So it's harvest time. In addition to the regular like ball jars and canning jars, I picked up these cute little glass honey bears that I'm given as gifts, like for Christmas and stuff, and had my own little labels printed. And yeah, let me show you the process that I went from like summer to gathering the honey and ending up with this sweet, sweet, fine product of bee spit. So let's talk about bees. I got two hives here. I got one that's this double super, and I have one that has a double super, what is now an escape, and then two honey supers that are absolutely full. This, you may remember, is my bees from last year. They're my survivor bees that I had to just baby through the winter to try to get them to survive. Like last year, they wouldn't even go into the second super. This year, they went gangbusters. First of spring, it was crazy. I had them try to swarm on me. I had to requeen them. I mean, just all kinds of things. But really early in the season, and after the requeening, great. They just went gangbuster until they filled up this. This particular hive was a package bee. It wasn't a nuke, it was just a package of bees. And put it in that hive just right beside them to see how they went. Split this hive, and I put the other split in another apiary location. Now, after this hive filled the second super, no more. I just finished taking off a honey super that I'd put on almost 8 weeks ago. They drew a little bit of comb, but no honey. They just absolutely refused. Now this top box is full of nothing but honey. Good thick honey. These bees, these Italian package bees, they filled up the double supers, and they filled up this honey super, and then they filled this one, and they're ecstatic. Yeah, the second box of these that I put in the other apiary, guess what? Exactly the same thing. This year, that hive filled just one of the supers and quit. Just quit. I think it's these bees. I think it's the Russians. I think that, you know, God only knows what the DNA is, but they're just not producing. And I'm gonna requeen them next year. I'm gonna requeen them with Italians, or if I can get maybe a certified Russian queen. I don't know, but the amount of work I put into these, if I were a commercial beekeeper, I'd already set them on fire. And then this package bee, they just went gangbuster. My other package bee is also Italians at the other apiary, and I'll take a quick film of them tomorrow. But they're exactly the same, going gangbuster and shit. So that's the status of these two hives, and then I'll show you the other two hives tomorrow. Oh, side note, these are still angry ass bees. Holy crap, the Russians, they're just mean. These bad boys, they don't like it when, you know, you open up the hive, but they're not crazy. These, man, the times I have been popped this year have been because of these bees. Just getting close to the hive, they're just unhappy bees. I will say though that our apples this year have gone at best crop we ever had. We had a really good crop of cherries. We had figs this time, this year for the very first time. Absolutely fantastic. And I mean, it's the bees. I know it is, regardless of whether or not they're making honey. Yeah, but I really want the honey. And I mean, and the wax from the cappings, and I don't get either from those Russians. So 2 years in a row, I'm working them real hard to keep them alive and healthy and happy, and they're just not producing honey, and they're angry. So this one has 2 full supers, and it's just going gangbuster. Again, this is not one of my overwintered hives. This is a package hive, and they're just full of honey. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the escape board in, and come back next week and pull the honey. As with the other package of Italians, these are just super docile. I mean, I am right there at the hive entrance, and yeah, I mean, they're inquisitive, but no stinging. Right, the honey supers are off, and in 2 weeks, you know, there's a bunch of burr comb. I'm not going to pull that burr comb today. I'm going to put the escape on, and then yeah, my honey is good and full. I'm pretty happy about that. Both of the supers. The skateboard goes with the triangle down because you only screw that up once. Okay, today's the day. We're gonna pull the 2 honey supers off that hive and extract the honey. So I have a little bit of a predicament. One, I got a lot of moisture in my hive. Look at all this. It's just moldy. I gotta fix that. But the other issue is my escape board. It's a liar. It's been in for 4 days, and my bees are all over the place. That's crazy. Alright, let me open this up, see what I got. Here I have the smartest bees in existence, or somebody put his escape board in upside down. I don't know. I gotta open it up. They're super unfriendly. Look at all that burr comb. Okay. Well, sounds like I need some smoke and do this right. Shit. So it was installed correctly. I do have a lot of moisture in here, which I'm not pleased about, so I need to work that out. I don't want my bees getting cold. And it's doing its job. If we flip this over, I mean, they're not 100% sure, but man, some of them have figured it out. Except for that one, she didn't figure it out. She got stuck. Anywho, let's try this again. So they're super mad. Not only did it not let the bees escape, or I guess it let them re-entry after they escaped. When I took the queen excluder off, she came in, and it's so late in the season, but there were all these open cells, and they just went to town eating honey, and she dropped brood in. I'm really frustrated with that escape. My own incompetence, whatever you want to say. But I mean, I've got a full frame of honey. It's just the other frame is nothing but brood, actually. And I'm not gonna let this brood hatch. I mean, there's some of them hatching now, but it's way too late in the season. So I'm just gonna pull these frames out and let them do what they do, and button the hive back up. I was pulling the last of the honey out of one of my hives at the house, and I had bees so angry that they popped me through the glove. Look at that. That doesn't happen very often, just right through. Pulling honey off the last hive in an apiary not by the house, and somebody forgot to bring his boots. So I'm pulling honey in wingtips. So I'm in my wife's car. Apparently it's the bee mobile right now. These 2 hives were much better. I actually pulled 3 mostly full westerns. This one is about half. This one is completely and utterly full, and this one's about 3/4. So let's go home and spin some honey out. So these 2 bad boys are the last of my honey harvest. Let me see if I can... Hold on, I gotta put the phone down. Alright, look at that. Look. All that beautiful honey. These are the last 2 western frames from my honey harvest this year. Just full of honey. Look at that. And so begins the extraction process. Well, that was a close one. I almost forgot to shut the gate before I started spinning this. Whew. Just full of thick, rich flower pollen honey. You see a few cappings there coming out with it, but man, just full of honey. Every one of these hives. I posted a video on Instagram of the honey flowing out of the spinner, and one of the questions was, what are those white chunks? What are those bits? So those are actually the wax caps. As you cut the tops off of the honeycomb, there's some that's left, and it gets spun in with the rest of it. So what I've done is all those bits and pieces that I cut off, and all of the caps, I'm actually letting those sit overnight and to let any extra honey drain out. Yeah, that's the little bits that you saw in the honey, and then that's how I try to capture all of the honey that I possibly can without pressing it. Now, some beekeepers will actually take all this and press it in like a 400 micron or 200 micron sack. I find that makes the honey really cloudy and it crystallizes quicker. So I don't press it, but you know, to each his own. That's not right or wrong, whatever, it's just what I do. So a little close-up of the honey bear jars that I ordered, as well as the new labels that I had printed for this year. I actually went custom instead of the generic labels that I have been putting on. So this is my super automated Kaizen Toyota production system manufacturing process for filling my glass jars. 24 glass honey jars filled, and then 40 of the regular ball jars. The inaugural honey application to crescent rolls. Again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and do what you can for the bees. Please plant bee-friendly flowers. Please do not use sprays that harm bees. Vote with your dollars.